Cardano has been range-bound near 45 cents for months, but on-chain developer activity just hit a 2-year high, and most people holding AD have absolutely no idea. Here's why that matters. When price is flat and development is accelerating, one of two things is about to happen. Either the market catches up to the fundamentals, or the fundamentals were overstated all along. And I just spent 10 hours figuring out which one it is for Cardano, so you don't have to. What I found genuinely surprised me. Not because Cardano is some hidden gem nobody's heard of, it's a top 20 coin, everyone's heard of it, but because the narrative around it is almost completely backwards right now. The people who hate it are citing problems that are 2 years old. The people who love it are citing promises that haven't been priced in yet. And somewhere in that gap is where the actual opportunity lives. So let's start with what Cardano actually is, because the standard explanation misses the point entirely. Most people will tell you it's a smart contract platform and leave it there. That's like describing a Formula One car as something with 4 wheels that goes fast. Technically true, completely useless. Cardano was built from the ground up using peer-reviewed academic research. Every protocol upgrade has to pass through formal academic review before it ships. That sounds slow, and honestly, it has been slow. But it also means that when Cardano ships something, it ships it right. No catastrophic exploits, no emergency patches at 3 in the morning draining liquidity pools. Compare that to some of the layer 1s that have launched faster and lost hundreds of millions in hacks within their first year. Speed without security isn't a feature, it's a liability. Cardano chose the harder road. Now, the knock on Cardano for years has been ecosystem size. Ethereum has DeFi TVL in the tens of billions. Solana has had massive meme coin volume. Cardano's TVL has historically looked small by comparison. That criticism was fair in 2022. But here's what the data shows right now. Over 1,400 projects are actively building on Cardano. The DeFi ecosystem, while still early, has been growing consistently, and the Chang hard fork, which just went live, is genuinely significant. This isn't a marketing rebrand. Chang hands governance of the entire Cardano protocol to ADA holders through an on-chain voting system. That's full decentralization of a top 20 blockchain. No other major layer 1 has done this at this scale. When governance is decentralized, development decisions can no longer be stalled by a single entity. That's a structural upgrade that removes one of the biggest risks that institutional money cites when they pass on a project. If you're finding this useful, subscribe to Crypto Sayans. We break down moves like this before they go mainstream. Let's talk about where the price could actually go, because this is where you need real numbers, not hopium. ADA's all-time high was $3.10 in September 2021. At current prices around 45 cents, you're looking at an asset that would need a roughly 7x move just to reclaim its previous peak. In a bull market cycle, reclaiming the prior all-time high is often considered the floor scenario, not the ceiling. If Bitcoin pushes toward $150,000 to $200,000 in this cycle, which multiple cycle models and ETF flow projections suggest is plausible by late 2025 or early 2026, then layer 1 altcoins with real fundamentals tend to see outsized moves. In the 2021 cycle, ADA ran from roughly 7 cents to $3.10. That's an 18x from cycle bottom to top. We're not calling an 18x from here, but a move from 45 back toward 250 to $3 by the peak of this cycle. That's a 5x to 6x. That's not crazy speculation. That's just ADA doing what it did last cycle, with more infrastructure behind it this time. The Midnight sidechain, which adds privacy features to Cardano's ecosystem, is also in active development. Privacy-enabled smart contract infrastructure is something enterprise clients want. If that ships and gains adoption, it adds a layer of utility that the current price doesn't reflect at all. Now here's where I have to be straight with you, because blind optimism is how people blow up their portfolios. There are real risks here, and they're not small. The first one is velocity. Cardano's methodical approach to development means the ecosystem moves slower than competitors. Solana ships fast. Base is scaling fast. If another cycle passes and Cardano's DeFi ecosystem is still a fraction of the size of its competitors, the market will eventually stop giving it credit for potential and start pricing it as a legacy chain. The second risk is Charles Hoskinson himself. He's a polarizing figure, and he's still extremely tied to Cardano's public perception. Any controversy around him, and there's never a shortage, tends to hit ADA price disproportionately. The third risk is that the broader altcoin season doesn't materialize the way the models suggest. If Bitcoin dominance stays elevated and capital doesn't rotate into layer ones, ADA could stay range-bound at 40 to 60s for another year. That's not a disaster, but it's an opportunity cost that's worth acknowledging. So here's my actual verdict after 10 hours in the data. Cardano is not dead. It's not a scam. It's not the most exciting trade in crypto right now either. What it is a high-conviction, patient money play for people who believe this cycle has legs into 2026. The fundamentals are quietly improving. The Chang governance upgrade is real, the developer ecosystem is growing, and the price hasn't reflected any of that yet. If you're a trader looking for the next 30-day pump, Cardano is probably not your answer. If you're building a position you're comfortable holding through the rest of this cycle, the current price looks like a reasonable entry with asymmetric upside, provided you size it for the risk, not the dream. The one thing I'd watch closely, if ADA breaks and holds above 65 cents on volume, that's your signal the market is starting to agree. Below 35 cents and the bull case needs reassessment. Subscribe to Crypto Sayens. We post breakdowns like this every week, so you never miss a move. Hit the bell too, because the best entries rarely come with advance warning.